And it is Frenchman Zaccharie Risacher, who is the odds-on favorite to be the first overall pick in this year's draft. His biggest threats, UConn big man Donovan Clingan, who is 3-1, and fellow Frenchman Alexander Sarr, who is 4-1. The Atlanta Hawks, they're the team on the clock with the first pick in this year's draft. And for more on what we'll see in the draft, we welcome in Jonathan Givony, who released his latest mock on ESPN.com. So after you listen to this, go check that out. Jonathan, you have Frenchman Zaccharie Risacher, the favorite, going #1 to Atlanta. How confident are you in that just a few days out?
Tyler, we've had Zaccharie Risacher #1 on our board pretty much the entire season, so that would not be a surprise to me. Most NBA teams consider him the best prospect in this draft. Almost every team I talk to at this stage has him ranked #1 in their internal big board as well. That's really all I can go off of in terms of, my confidence level is what NBA teams are telling me. And everybody pretty much has Zaccharie Risacher at #1. So do I.
All right, that would be back-to-back years the French have dominated, or at least had the first pick in the NBA draft. It worked out for the Spurs, of course, this last year. Let's talk about that guy who was second in that market, Donovan Clingan, the big man from UConn. You actually have him going 7 to Portland. Why is it he's falling out of the top 5 in your mock?
Well, if you look at the teams that have the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th pick, they all have incumbent starting centers. Not a big need there for a starting center. In this scenario that we have in our mock right now, where there's no trade taking place, Donovan Clingan could slide as far as to 7. Here's the thing, though. A lot of NBA teams think there will be a trade at #3. They're pointing at teams like Memphis, Oklahoma City, or Portland as possible options to trade up to 3 with Donovan Clingan in mind. It's hard to predict that in a mock draft, though, so we're playing it straight. We're not doing any trades, and we have Clingan falling to 7. But if you told me he went 3, 4, or 5, that would not shock me at all on Wednesday night.
All right, fair, and thank you for pointing out no trades in your mock. And, of course, that is something that will be on the table for these NBA GMs. We see him move and shake all the time. Another college star, another big man, Purdue's Zach Edey. He's seen his stock on the rise here a bit leading up to the draft, though. His prop in the first round is set at the 16.5 selection. In your estimation, does he stay inside that top 15, top 16, or does he fall further down the board?
Yeah, people who have been reading our mock draft since January will not be surprised that Zach Edey is pretty much in everybody's lottery or right outside the lottery. This is where we've had him the entire season, more or less. Everybody else is starting to catch up now to the fact that Zach Edey is pretty much a lock to be a top 20 pick. We have him at 15 in our mock draft, so right around that cutoff that you have. I'm hearing that he could go as high as 9 to Memphis. Doesn't go 9. He's got several suitors at Utah at 10, Chicago at 11, Oklahoma City at 12, but a lot of trades in those markets too. Anything can happen, but Zach Edey, it looks like a good bet to be a top 20 pick. Where exactly, in that 14, 15 cutoff, I might have a better idea tomorrow.
All right, we get you out of here with this one, Jonathan. That's guys who are likely going in the top 15, top 20. One guy who's likely not is Bronny James, though he may have the biggest name cachet of any prospect in this draft because of Dad. The Lakers are the odds-on favorite at -110 to draft Bronny. Do you think we see this happening, or will someone else try and maneuver to grab him?
Well, here's my question. If they move up to 40, do you still win that bet if you bet the Lakers?
Yes, you do. As long as the Lakers draft him, it doesn't
there
matter
you go.
where.
Then, yeah, I think the Lakers are going to draft Bronny James. Now, listen, there are some teams that are telling me, hey, we like Bronny James, even though he hasn't come to work out in our building. We could possibly take a look at doing something. For example, Minnesota at 37. They're intrigued with the idea of drafting Bronny James. But listen, it's a lot of drama that comes along with that. Maybe he doesn't want to be there. What does that do with your relationship with that agency? I don't know. But Minnesota, Tim Connelly, I bet you he doesn't care. If he wants Bronny James, he'll take him at 37.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear, pull up all brains. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's 88 over here,